Well, hello out there to all of my old friends and a great big welcome to all of my new ones. I say this because I woke up the other day to see that this channel has finally hit 10,000 subscribers. And for me, that's kind of a big deal. If you had asked me, say, 3 years ago when I barely made it to 5,000 subscribers after several years of doing this, I never would have thought that I would ever see these kinds of numbers. Fast forward a couple of years, and things picked up for me thanks to a tiny little factory building game called Satisfactory, which honestly pretty much took over here on the channel from the type of content that I usually make. But after the success that I found with Satisfactory, I didn't want to abandon my roots. I am a theme park fan, first and foremost, and I really love creating my own little worlds. It's one of my favorite things to do, hence the name of the channel, Phoenix Creates. So even though I am going to continue to make Satisfactory content because that's what the majority of you guys out there want to see, I want to get back to my roots with games like Planet Coaster, City Skylines, maybe some Sims house building, and of course, where we are today, Planet Zoo. Now I've only dabbled in Planet Zoo honestly over the last year and a half, if not longer, so I'm not as good as I used to be. In fact, I'm still trying to remember the controls and how to build and do things in the game. But with the new Tropical DLC that dropped a few weeks ago, I felt it was a great time to get back into the game. Been watching a lot of videos from great creators like Zed SH Plays, Leaf, Bacon Play, and a few others, and I've really been itching to sink my claws into this game again. After some research and some thinking and planning things out in my head on what I wanted to do with this new DLC, I decided to come back to one of my older builds I'd left unfinished, Riverside Zoo. Now I've not been here in a very long time. Last time I was playing Planet Zoo, actually, I was messing around in my new zoo I'd started called Silverwood. We'll go back to that one at some point in the future for sure, but Riverside Zoo here offered me the best area in order to do what I have planned with the new Tropical DLC. Before I get started building something, since it's been so long, I thought I'd take a moment to go back and take a look around the zoo. Give a refresher to those who remember it, as well as giving a preview to those who are seeing it for the first time. Now, I also recommend going back through the playlist, checking out the episodes of the construction of the zoo, especially if you haven't seen it before, and it piques your interest. You can see how it started from the beginning, all the way to where it is now. First few episodes are actually some of the most popular on my channel. Now, let's start with a little bit of history about the zoo. So, I had played Planet Zoo when it first started in beta. I fumbled around with it, built a tiny little starter zoo, within the amount of time that we had with the beta. And then after the game actually came out, I started a new one. And I used some of the same elements that I had in that starter zoo into the new one. And it was coming along, I would say, kind of okay. Wasn't 100% happy with it, but it was alright. I ended up accidentally losing the save files on that one. So when it came time to start once again, I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to kind of, maybe tell a story about each of the animals and just how the construction of the zoo and stuff was. So I decided, let's do a franchise mode zoo. I wanted to try the challenge of building a zoo from scratch with only what the starter cash you get and having to research everything as I went, such as, how to take care of the animals, because you have to research like the different diseases and stuff when they get them. You have to also research all the building pieces and stuff too, because you don't start with a whole lot. Now, everything that you see right here in this entrance was built using only some of the start pieces that you get in franchise mode. Since I didn't have access to some of the pieces I needed, I had to be creative. Build my vision piece by piece. Like all the walls that you see, let me try to get in close to one of these here. Like here, this kind of shows it off. As you see, all these walls were just made out of beams for the most part. I would actually say that when I started this zoo, it was really when I was starting to master the game. Figure out all the pieces, things I could use them for other than how they're intended. Really be creative with them. How the game mechanics worked, animal habitats, all that was stuff I was starting to get the hang of at this point. So that's why this zoo, I think, became one of the most popular ones I had actually started. So the entrance that you're looking at itself here at Riverside is actually based upon a zoo in South Carolina called Riverbank Zoo. I know, I got really creative with that name, didn't I? But yeah, I really liked the way that it looked because, as always, before I begin construction of something in Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, anything like that, I always kind of look for inspiration. And usually find it through Google and just searching for different ideas and stuff. And that's how I came across this one. I love the look of it. It was simple and kind of modern looking. And I thought, yeah, I can do that. I can totally make that. And that would look really good in the game. And I think it did. I think it came out really, really well. So after you get past the entrance here, we're going to go ahead and go on into the zoo, into our little entrance square here. Well, I just kind of threw down a fountain. Nothing big here. I believe this is just one of the pieces that Frontier has in the game, so didn't actually custom make that. But I needed something to kind of cover up some of the paths. I also laid down concrete everywhere to cover all the paths, because the paths themselves are just kind of crisscrossed in here, which is why sometimes you'll see some of the guests kind of getting stuck and stuff. So after we get out of the entrance, the next thing we needed for our zoo was our first animals. And I decided to come over here to the left, and I built my first habitat, the peafowls. Peacocks are absolutely beautiful animals, and I thought they would make a good animal to kind of start with up here, because they don't cost a whole lot. And yeah, I kind of built this. I decided to go with a walkthrough exhibit, and I got really creative here. I didn't like at the time, I think they've changed this. There might be some smaller gates or something you can use for walkthrough exhibits, but I didn't like the walkthrough exhibit gate as it had at the time. I didn't want there to be a giant door here. I just wanted there to be a fence around this and then go from there. So I stumbled upon a little trick here where I was able to take some of these curvings, these stone pieces here, and kind of put them down into the ground a little bit, and the peacocks wouldn't go outside of it. I don't know why it was, but they just wouldn't do it. And that was a cool little trick. However, every time Frontier would update the game, though, they started getting out, and I eventually had to keep raising these things up until the point where they are now. And again, I still don't exactly know why the peacocks don't run out of here, because in the last update, they actually will jump over this fence right here now. I think I've raised it at this point enough where they won't like jump over it, but I was getting some escapes when I first started this zoo again here. So yeah, that was something kind of cool that I discovered. Worked for me. I've been told that elephant grass also does the same thing if you turn it upside down. I've never been able to get that to work though. I don't know why, but these work, and I'm proud of that. So if we kind of go on through here, I was just kind of making, I wanted to try to do, I guess, kind of an Asian garden, I guess is kind of what I was going for here. Oh, look, there's my first albino animal that I ever got in a zoo, or any of my zoos, really. It's Snowy. I did a whole episode, and it was actually, you know, called Meet Snowy, I think. I think I changed the name of that later on. But, yeah, she's my first albino animal that I got in a park. Can't believe she's still here. So, yeah, she's a pretty little peacock, actually. Just getting her, hanging out over here and getting her a drink of water, I guess. Yep, there we go. Let's see, I built some waterfalls in this area. I had a little log over here because I thought they would like stroll across the log. And I built them some kind of nesting caves and stuff in here as well. And I also had to contend with, when you're playing in franchise mode, you have no control over the weather. And it would snow and rain constantly all the time in this zoo. So I ended up having to put some things in there to keep them warm and keep the snow and stuff off of them. Yeah, so, but I think this came along pretty good. And if we go on up into here, I also built this little greenhouse, I guess is what you would call it, and I put an exhibit in here as well. I believe I have the giant snails in this exhibit. I don't see them anywhere, as is typical for most of the exhibit animals. They're really, really hard to find. In fact, they may have actually died on me and may not even be in there anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of put like a little indoor exhibit in here, and then also have a place where the peacocks can kind of hang out over here as well, and the guests can kind of come in and see different flowers and stuff. Little botanical gardens, if you will, added to it. One of the biggest problems I had with, oh, there you go. Look, she just jumped out right over the fence. Probably because that rock's there. I'm gonna have to fix that now too. But anyway, one of the biggest problems I had with my first exhibit and building this zoo was that the guests wouldn't come up here to actually see the peacocks. I couldn't figure it out. The guests would come only so far up the path, and then they would turn around and go back before they even got into the zoo. It wasn't a thing where the prices were too high or anything like that. It was just they would not come into the zoo at all. So eventually I figured out it's because my exhibit is just way too far away from the actual guests, so they would get so far and then they realized there was nothing to see, so they would just turn around. I think I ended up fixing that by putting some of these in here, these like education boards, and then they actually started to kind of come in a little bit more. I just had to draw them in with some stuff. So Once I got them in through the gates, then they started to visit, and I think this is probably the most popular area of the zoo, to be honest. Now, I also, right across from here, this came later on. It wasn't the next thing I built, but later on I decided to build an entire vet center, like a research center, vet center. All of my like zookeeping stuff, things like that, for the most part, are located in here. And oh, that's actually broken. Oh, it just got fixed. Okay, but I didn't do a whole lot on the interior. I just kind of threw some stuff in here, but the outside of it, I think, came out really fantastic. I loved this. I thought this was really cool. It was a neat design. It fit in well with the entrance, and everything our vets and stuff needed for at the time anyway were right up here. So then we're gonna head over this way and kind of go up this path over here to the right, past a little waterfall area. And this is kind of, I guess what I was going to do was like an American trail kind of thing for the most part. So we come over here to my next exhibit, or habitat that I built, which was the grizzly bears. Now, I thought this was pretty cool. One thing I got some inspiration for on this one was I found a habitat, like an actual zoo habitat, where you could walk into a giant hollow log and view the animals. And I thought, that's really cool. I wonder if I can do something like that. So I ended up trying to use all these branches and stuff here to kind of put together this. It didn't come out great, but I think it gets the effect over that. I think I could probably do this better now that we have the faux trees and all that. But I think it came out pretty good. And yeah, you kind of come in here and there's this glass piece, which I can see it's cracking and stuff. But you can kind of get a great view of the grizzlies from here. See almost their entire little area. See them running around and playing in there. I've actually got more grizzlies in there than I expected. And then kind of another little viewing area over here as you come across. You've got a path that goes kind of up this way. And right up here you can get an overview of the area from up here. And then it goes around. And I didn't do a very good job of hiding all the cracks and stuff. But again, I got the point across. And that was really what I was trying to do. And another viewing area down here, where you have one of their feeders and stuff down here. And yeah, I think this area came out pretty good too. I was really happy with this. There's a level kind of thing here. So as you can see, it all kind of goes downhill. And getting these slants and stuff to kind of work right was my first time working with terrain. And kind of getting things to do what I wanted. For the most part, it wasn't too hard because, you know, I've been playing Planet Coaster for so long and kind of getting the hang of all that. But the terrain controls do work differently in Planet Zoo than what they do in Planet Coaster. Now, if we go on around this area, I have plans to maybe do some other habitats over in here. I might do some otters. Might also do some... maybe well, I don't know, some other stuff down in here, maybe some cougars or something down in this area. But we're gonna try to do like an American, like Western animal, like American trails, I think maybe what I might call that. But we're gonna come over to one of my favorite habitats in the entire zoo. I absolutely loved how this came out. It was right about the time when they released the DLC with the aquatic animals. We have the gray seals over here, and these guys, I'm not a fan of the actual gray seal itself. I think we ended up getting some other seals or something that actually works better for me. But for the time being, this is what we had to work with, and this is what I ended up building. It's based off of a habitat, I can't remember where, but I got some inspiration from some concept art and kind of built it sort of around that. Kind of had it off the like northern coast kind of area with a... I can't remember what those things are called. Lighthouse. Yeah, I don't know why I was at a loss for words on that one, but we got the lighthouse up there that kind of overlooks the area. So, I don't know, it gives it kind of a Maine kind of area to it. I don't know if gray seals are in Maine or not, but if they are, you know, I think that kind of works. And then we have this little area over here that I built. Now, this was before Frontier released the update that had the bleachers and stuff on it for the shows. So I had the idea that this could be something kind of like that anyway. So I took all the like little seating that we have in the game and kind of lined them up here on some paths. The guests don't ever actually use this, and at some point I am going to replace this with the actual bleachers and have the education show and all that over here. But I just thought it would be kind of cool to have a like an animal show here, so people could like kind of watch the seals and stuff, and there would be like a show every now and then at the park. Kind of what I was going for. I used the abstract pieces, the art pieces and stuff to kind of work with build some shading over top of the bleachers for the guests. But yeah, I loved how this whole area came out. This is my favorite area in the entire park. Now we also have, if we go over here, so we got a little viewing area right there that kind of pokes out on the rocks. We've got this over here with some education boards there. But if we go down in here, this way. If we go this way, you can go down, again, working with the terrain and stuff. And I ended up building an underwater viewing area here. So this way the guests can kind of up close and look at the seals as they are swimming around in there. And I thought this kind of worked well. And this is about as far as it goes. I just kind of built some path that would lead back up and around here. None of this was actually finished. I did plan on finishing all of this later on. Just never did. So maybe at some point we'll kind of come back over here to this side. I've got lots of plans and stuff. But I moved on from here to go back to the other side of the zoo. Actually, I guess you could say front and center. So let me kind of zoom out here. We'll go back up here to the front. Right to the entry plaza, and we're gonna go up here to this area. So this was my reptile house that I wanted to build, and not really based upon anything in particular. I just was kind of trying some stuff out and seeing what kind of buildings and stuff I could do and create, and I came across or I guess just stumbled upon this design that kind of worked for me, and just kind of kept playing around with it till I got it just right. But this is my Reptile Center. Should probably maybe put some signage or something up on the outside of it. I'll do that later. But anyway, we walk in to this little area. All this is going to be an indoor habitat. And our first thing here we have is my algebra turtles. Now, that's not actually what they're called. I think it's Aldabra or something like that. I don't remember the actual names for them. I just call them algebra turtles because I think it's funny. Now, you don't know. Maybe they do like math. They could be very, very good at math. We just don't know. But anyway, that's the first exhibit. At some point, I kind of built this kind of fake backdrop back here at the time. Now we actually have like where we can put our own background images and stuff in here. So I'll probably go in and do that at some point. I think that would make that look a whole lot better. Now we're going to go through these doors here into a area that I haven't done anything with at all. But I'm going to turn this into a habitat here, probably for those new Asian monitor lizards or the water monitors that's in the new Tropical DLC. I think that would go really, really good in here. I also want to do the kimono dragons at some point as well as a exhibit. I'll maybe do that on the other side of this. But we enter into this area where it's got two levels. So we have the upper level, which overlooks our big reptiles, our big guys, our saltwater crocodiles are all down in here. And these right here, these guys are awesome. I love that kind of just, they don't do a whole lot, but I still love watching them swim around and stuff. But we got tons of these guys in here. They had a whole bunch of babies. I've got so many saltwater crocodiles in here. It's still got an under level as well. So the lower level, you can kind of come down here and watch them swim around in this part. I think that's one of the first times I've ever actually seen them swimming around in there. Maybe because we have so many in here, they're actually doing it. Most of the time they're up on the land or just swimming near the flowers and stuff. But I love how this roof came out on this. I think it came out fantastic. And all of this. Now also on the upper levels, I went all around here and I put in all of these like these exhibits right here with the different lizards and snakes and all this. And this goes all the way around, and there are stairways on each side right in here. We got some bathrooms as well as stairways that go down to the lower level, and then we'll come back out, and this is probably where I'll do the kimono dragons over here most likely, and then it goes back out to the front. But I'm also going to do another exit right down here. So in this viewing area, I'm going to do a entrance slash exit right that goes this way through the caves there. That goes into, I guess, an Asian area. That's where I'm going to do my tigers and stuff, is out back of this. But let's head out of this building, and we're going to head back down around by our peafowl. You know what? We'll just go down through here, through our greenhouse, and come out on the other side over here. So directly, my peacock is here. She's gotten all the way over here. Why are my zookeepers not trying to catch her? They're just like, yeah, whatever, she's fine. But anyway, right over here we have another one of my favorite little builds that I did. It's the red pandas. Now, I think these guys are just awesome to watch. Frontier's climbing things in this game aren't great. These little guys will just like go in and out of stuff, and for the most part they're really not out and about in front of guests. So the red pandas have a thing where they get really shy really quick, and it bothers them to be in front of a bunch of people. So they spend most of their time inside their shelter right here, which I built. Now, I decided this would be really cool if I built kind of a log, like a circular entrance, and then they would climb out over the log to kind of come out into the habitat. Oh, that was kind of cool, and it worked for me. And inside here, they also have some more places they can climb around with. I built them like sleeping places up on top up in there. And the zookeeper will come in here and feed them and stuff, and that works pretty well for me. But I just wish that they would stay out and about more so that the guests could get a good look at them. I built these little overlook areas right here that the guests can kind of come out on. Though we get so many guests in this area that they all kind of try to get in here, and there's not enough, I guess, opening for it, so they all kind of get stuck right here. But I love how I use these statues are some of my favorite ones in the game, and I love how those just really look and everything with the Asian kind of backdrop. I love the cherry blossom trees quite a bit in this game. But we are going to move on down the path down here into our next area that I started building. And I didn't do a whole lot with this. This is going to go into, like I said, my Asian kind of area with the tigers and all that. That's going to go that way. But down in here, we have lemurs. Now, lemurs, I really think these guys are cool and kind of cute and everything, and really fun to watch. And I wanted to build them a nice little habitat where they could climb around and the guests and stuff would get a good view of them and everything. And also where they couldn't escape, so kind of put a little bit of a rock wall all the way around this. My only complaint about the lemurs is that they rarely will ever get up on these ropes and like play around and stuff and climb around. For the most part, I only see them climbing around on the bottom parts down here, and I really wish they would kind of get more up here. Now, it's not that they can't get up here, because I have seen them up on this before, so they do it rarely. It's just I wish they did it more often, and that way I could get some better like video and stuff of the actual lemurs. We have both of them in here. We have the ring-tailed and the red-ruffed in here. So there's our red-ruffed lemurs. Oh, that's cute. Never seen that before. Just kind of play it around there. Then I built them a man-made shelter back here in the back. Is that a baby red-ruffed? I think it is, yeah. Where are my ring-tailed, though? I don't see the ring-tailed lemurs anywhere. I hope they didn't die while I was, like, trying to film this. I sure don't see them. I don't think they escaped. Oh, they may have died. That's a possibility. There's another red-ruffed. I don't know where my ring-tailed are. There should be some ring-tailed in there, though. Anyway, moving along, we're going to go over here to the left side of this, and this is going to be the entrance to my Australian area, where I can actually put in the kangaroos, another one of my favorite animals that I'm very happy that they finally added into the game in one of the DLCs, and I've never done anything with yet. But we're going to have the entire Australian area will be over in this section of the park. So we're going to kind of start with maybe some penguins over here maybe, and then I kind of want to do a cave that goes into the Australian area that is like fish and stuff like that. I can do that now with the mods and stuff, so probably do something like that. And then we're going to go this way since that place is completely unfinished. And I'm just going to do an overview of this area. There's nothing here in this area to see. I just put down and tried to make this as jungly as I possibly could down in this entire area. This is going to be in my rainforest area. Originally, I'd planned on this to be more of a Congo rainforest as the centerpiece. All the middle part of this area was going to be the lowland gorillas, and I just never did get around to doing that. We're going to have some monkeys over here. We're going to put some monkeys on the other side over there. And right here, I had planned on putting, I don't know, one of the hoofed animals. I have no hoofed animals anywhere in this zoo at all yet. And one of the DLCs that came out had some in it that was for like rainforest animals, and I was like, I guess I could use that because I didn't really know what else to put in here at the time. Now I'm kind of thinking, instead of this being a Congo rainforest, I think it's just going to be rainforest in general. So like South American rainforest, Asian rainforest, just any rainforest in particular is probably what we're going to do down in this area. I think I want to put something like this little circular area here would be kind of like a village. And then from there kind of spin out into this down in here where we have the gorillas and the monkeys and all that. But over here, I think instead of doing some sort of like deer-like animal, I think I want to put in one of the big cats over here. And I don't know which one. I'm kind of thinking about the jaguar. That's a possibility. Some sort of panther-like creature I think would look really, really good over here. What do you guys think? Because I have access to tons of different animals, especially with mods and stuff. So what do you think is a big cat that I should put over in this area? Should I go with the jaguar over here, or maybe a different big cat? Let me know down in the comments below what you think I should do with this habitat right here that we can work with. But let's kind of go on down this way to the last area that I was working in the game, and that is going to be our desert kind of area, our Africa. So, oh, there's my my hogs over here. I'm thinking about swapping these guys out for the new Red River hogs. I think the Red River hogs may actually work better down in here than maybe the ones I already have. But I wanted kind of a little bridge that kind of goes over across to this, where you can kind of see like a little creek, and then have the hogs kind of down here messing around in the creek and stuff like that, and where you can get a good view of them from here. They have a little area they can go into here. This is the habitat entrance over here. So they would come out right here and then go underneath this bridge. And then they have this entire little like valley, sort of, this creek bed they can play in. And then they got all this area over here, which is where our viewers will actually be able to be. So they can kind of, all of our guests can come down here when they get to the end of that path and be able to view them. Over here to the left of this, I loved how this came out. This is my Fennec Fox area, and I just really like how I was able to take these tapestries, or whatever they are, these blankets, etc., and I put these up as a kind of like shade for the guests to kind of get in here and be able to view. And it's kind of a small habitat, but we got our Fennec Foxes in here. These guys are cute. They really are. These big-eared, floppy-eared little guys. Really neat looking. I like watching them play. And then I did the exact same thing. So I essentially just copied this and went over here to the other side. There's the waterfall that I have in this area. I think what I want to do is have guests be able to come down and go in and out here as an entrance to the area from the Congo area. I'll probably do that eventually. But I just copied all of that over here to this side for our meerkats. So we got our meerkat exhibit over here as well. And then you can see they've been burrowing quite a bit. Love watching these guys too. They're so small and cute. I didn't think Frontier would ever add such small little animals in here that wouldn't be an exhibit. And to see them doing that, I think it was the meerkats was one of the first ones they did this with. And to see them doing that now is kind of fun. Oh no! Oh, that's sad. Apparently one of our meerkats died. Well, sorry you guys had to see that. I literally just found it myself, so I'm very sad. Let's spin this around a little bit here and kind of move away from that. So we have, this is going to be my African safari area, and this is where pretty much I stopped construction of this, and then I started Silverwood because I just wanted to do something different. I guess I just got tired of working in this zoo, So we have this entire African area here. Now I want to do like a giant, like African tree, like world tree of life kind of thing right here in the middle. And then these are all going to be like little viewing platforms and stuff. This is actually going to be where you go up, and then there's going to be a bridge that goes over to that tree over there. Now with the faux rocks and the faux trees and stuff that we have, I think I could really do something kind of cool with that. I did see that Estan Wolf built a tree of life kind of thing, and his looks really cool. So I may have to take a look at his and see how he built his. Or maybe if he has it on the workshop, maybe I'll just download it and see how it looks in mine. But I want it to be kind of the centerpiece right here. And then we're going to have our lions, giraffes, elephants, all that stuff like that is going to be over in here. And we're going to have like a Jeep tour where guests can get on a little Jeep and go over here. Now you'll be able to see some of them from just some of these viewing habitats, like the giraffes and stuff right from here. But I just want to kind of build this with the little Jeeps can go all the way around this area, and maybe even have it where you can see it from the tree as well. And it will probably build like a restaurant inside of the tree too. I think that'd be a really cool idea. That's for the future though. Eventually I do need to come back down here and kind of get into all of this. But that's pretty much a tour of the entire zoo as it stands right now. And like I said, I just kind of wanted to, before I actually came back to this zoo and started building a new habitat and stuff in it with the tropical DLC, I wanted to come back over here, kind of take an overlook and do a tour of what we've built so far. So let's go back up here to the entrance to our rainforest area where our lemurs are. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing next. So this is where I'm going to start construction at next. So the next video you see will be a construction video of a habitat right over here. I think this would be a good place for what I have planned. And I think you guys probably have an idea what I'm going to do if you know your animals. But I'm not going to mention it yet. We'll talk more about that in the next video. But like I said, for now, I just kind of want to come in here, give an overview of the park, kind of refresh people's memories for those who watch these videos, and for those who are new to the channel, maybe to give them an idea of what to expect kind of thing. But that's going to do it from here at Riverside Zoo. Hope you guys have enjoyed this little video. I now have to actually start building in it to try to get a video out for you guys within the next couple of days. Hopefully it won't take me too long. I had started the video, and this was all going to be kind of a video where I just did kind of a quick tour and then did the build and stuff, but I ended up thinking it would be better to split the videos up, do this tour in one video and do the build video in a different separate video, because if I did them both together it was going to be like an hour long, and I didn't want to do that. So hopefully you guys appreciate that I kind of split these up a little bit, so there'll be smaller videos. But anyhow, that's going to do it today. Thank you everybody for watching, especially those who watched till the end. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. I'd very much appreciate that. It also tells YouTube to tell others about this video and get them to watch it, and that just increases the views and etc. And it just helps out the channel a ton, and I very much appreciate it. That's all I got to say. Wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and I'll see you in the next video.